Hosted by Mike, the Big Cheese.
Welcome, my friend. Welcome back to the Heavy Metal Mayhem Radio Show. It is Sunday, May 19th. We're back. We were off the air last week. I had taken my family and my grandkids on vacation to Disney World like we do every year in May. Had a great time, but boy, it was hot over there. Coming from New York, where we should have nice warm weather right now at this time of year, it's been kind of cold and damp. So it's kind of nice getting into the sun for the first couple of days. Then it was just like living on top of the sun. So we're back in New York, and I'm glad to be back here doing the show live this week. We got a great show for everybody tonight. Jerry Warden from Texas Warlock is on. Mike Tirelli of Holy Mother. I got to see the band last night at the Sony Hall in Manhattan, opened up for Zebra. It was a pretty killer show. Mike sounds great. We recorded this interview at the beginning of the week, so that's a pre-recorded interview. Jerry will be calling in live tonight at about 6:30 Eastern Time. Right there, King Diamond with Karen off their first King Diamond record. You know, such a huge Merciful Fate fan. I was so disappointed when the band broke up after like 3 records. I thought that was going to go on much longer than it did, but it didn't. But, you know, 3/4 of Merciful Fate was in King Diamond's band, and that first record is a masterpiece. Absolutely love it. Like the first 3 King Diamond records I was a big fan of. Then they started getting a little drawn out with the storytelling and everything like that. But, you know, King has been back the last couple of years with Merciful Fate. I know they got a new Merciful Fate record coming out. There is a new King Diamond record coming out. When we're going to get it, it's called The Institute is Beyond Me. We've been hearing about it for years. King hasn't put a record out since, I think, 2007 it has to be. Yeah, I think it was 2007 with Give Me Your Soul, Please. It's 17 years since he had a record out. He's kind of missed the entire prime window of, like, you know, the revival of heavy metal by not putting out any new music. But did it really matter? No, because every time he plays, he sells out the places, and the places keep getting bigger and bigger. So I guess you don't need a new record or new music. People just love you. They want to see you. All right, let's keep the music flowing here. We're going to play a little Creed for you next. Not the Creed you're thinking of, a different Creed. Let's get that on for everybody right now. I got to get my playlist all lined up here today because I have no idea where anything is, to be honest with you. I just got back. So let's do Taken by Storm by Creed.
Shadow
and glory.
Listen to the leaders telling all a lie. Madness with desire. People tell your children not to play with fire.
Well, I just can't believe this is the way. No more today. 'Cause the power and the glory is what they want. The power and the glory is what they need. The power and the glory is what they need. Thank you very much and good night.
A to Z, The King is Dead. I haven't played them on the show in years. They were kind of due. I think Jerry was trying to call in. It was a little early, but that might have been him. So let me just reach back out to that number, see if it was Jerry, get him connected, and we'll get this interview going here. All right, so bear with me a second. I wanted to play something off of the upcoming record before we spoke, but nah, nothing. I guess maybe it wasn't him. Okay, we'll wait a few more minutes from the call in, and we'll get this interview going here. You know, I'm not a fan of Hailstorm at all. I just don't get that band. They've never done anything to appeal to me. I think Lizzie Hell gets too much attention for really doing nothing. In my opinion, nothing more than a pop rock band, but she's been fronting Skid Row lately. I guess they had a bunch of shows lined up, and they recruited her. And I have to be honest with you, watching some of the videos of her playing with them live, I actually really enjoyed it. I never thought I would say that, but I actually wish they would get her in the band permanently because she sounds great. I mean, she's got that old Sebastian Bach style to her in a way, and she really, really did a great job. I don't know if you caught any of the videos, but I was pleasantly pleased and surprised. So maybe they should look into trying to recruit her to being the singer of Skid Row. I think it would work out better for them than the last couple of singers that they've had in the band, which has been quite a few over the years. I know she's got Hailstorm going, but I think she could manage to squeeze both of those bands in there together. Check out some of the videos on Blabbermouth or on YouTube. They were really good. She sounded great. I got to be honest with you. I actually enjoyed it. And it's funny because every other post on Blabbermouth is Sebastian Bach plays the Skid Row classics. And when you look at him, he just released a brand new solo record, his first record in who knows how long, maybe a decade or better. And he's out there and he's only doing 2 songs. He's playing an 18-song set, and only 2 songs are off of his solo records. The other 16 are all off the first 2 Skid Row records. I mean, is he really auditioning for that job that hard, or is just he doesn't have any faith in his own solo music? I just don't get it. But that's what he's out there doing, so who the hell knows? All right, let's get on some, you know what, I was going to play Shaw next, but it looks like we might not have enough time, so let's get on some Texas Warlock. We'll do Hotter Than Hell, and maybe Jerry will call in right after this, okay?
Here we come, with the darkness, loaded for fun. Small amount of time, get some ass, 'cause I'm nature, ready to blast. When I kill us, out of the dark, looking for love, give me a spark. Hotter than hell, ready to bleed. What I want, I think what I need. When the kids on the street, hotter than fire. With the boys in action, hotter than fire. With the ones burning, hotter than fire. We got guns loaded, hotter than fire. Hotter than fire. Some ass, 'cause I need you ready to blast. Hey, when the kids on the street, hotter than fire. hotter than fire. We're the ones burning, hotter than fire. We got the guns loaded, hotter than fire. Hotter than fire.
Jerry, this is Mike. You're on the air live. How are you, my friend?
Oh, great, man. Doing great. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. It's a pleasure to have you on here today. Texas Warlock, you guys have been back. You've been back a few times, but you're back for good this time, I hope.
Oh, yeah, until I die, man. Until I end up croaking off. Well, maybe, I might become too enabled at some point, too. You never know. But
That's very true. Well,
but it
I'm
is.
glad. I'm glad that you're out there doing this still, man. I mean, I can't believe this goes back to 1981. I mean, that is a long time.
It really is, man. Am I on the air yet?
Yeah, you're on the air.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure. I didn't know if we were in small talking or if we were talking about this damn thing.
Yeah,
But yeah,
we're from Texas and New York. There is no small talk. It's all big talk.
that's good, man. That's great.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. It's hard for me to imagine too, man. 1981. I think back on it, man. We were such silly creatures.
You know,
Pretty cool, man.
1981, there really wasn't a big scene anywhere in 1981. It was just really starting to develop here in the U.S., after the scene took off over in England and in Europe. And, we had all these new bands coming out. It's 1981. You're in Texas. Having the Boss Tweed guys on a few weeks ago talking about, like, how there was no scene back then. And basically, you were responsible not only for Texas Warlock, which is really just Warlock back then, but you were responsible for, like, that whole entire, scene up in northern Texas.
Well, I obviously wasn't responsible for the entire thing. There were so many people that pitched in along the way, and I would be, an ass to think that, it was only me. I think that I did contribute my part to the creation of the DFW Metalplex, as I always like to refer to our home here.
And you did a great job with that because, a lot of bands got a chance to play because of the things you guys were doing over that time. But going back to the beginning of the band, I mean, how did it get started? It was you and your brother originally, Casey and Harden from, who later on went to be in Rigor Mortis. At that time, Rigor Mortis didn't exist yet. The four of you kind of put this thing together. What was it like in the beginning, in 1981, starting this band Warlock?
For me, I had been in a band earlier. And I had been in this band called Megaton, man. And I don't know if you ever heard of Megaton. Did you ever hear of Megaton?
No, yeah, Megaton I never heard of.
Okay, well, it's sometimes just a footnote in the damn thing or whatever, but it was kind of cool because these were guys I grew up with, and I sang with them for a little while, and they ended up kicking me out and end up hiring Bill Lindsay from Impaler.
Yeah.
And Bill was down here in the Plex for a little while. I'm not exactly sure why, but he was down here for a little while before he went back home to Minnesota and created Impaler, began Impaler. So that's kind of funny, man. I like to mention that sometime. I don't always get to mention it, but yeah, they fired me for Bill Lindsay. So then, my brother, he was 3 years younger than me, but I was noticing, man, he was starting to get pretty badass on the guitar. And it was our turn to come on out there and start our thing, do our thing.
And that you did. I mean, you guys were full on power metal band at the time. How was it the first couple of years? I mean, did you guys kind of know what direction you wanted to go in with the band? Was there a sound that you guys developed? I mean, to me, it was traditional classic power metal in the beginning.
Well, in the beginning, we were just a cover band, but you would have never known that we were playing covers unless you knew us personally, because I mean we were just playing the all heaviest stuff there was, and no club was going to let us play in a damn club, and so we well, we played cover tunes, man, but we played the heaviest tunes that there were, at the time. I still have a real large new wave of British heavy metal record collection here in my house. But yeah, man, that's basically it. We were just fueled by the heaviest music possible at the time. We didn't we got into a little bit more of a traditional metal, or even some of the just rock music like Name Your Poison there for one little bitty spell. And I could tell you about that spell too if you want me to, but
Go right ahead.
did you ever, man? We man, my brother, man, my brother and me lasted all the way up till December of 1984, and when he quit, I was like in shock, man. I think I'm still in shock that he quit, and bug him all the time. But next thing you know, man, Rick done brought this new guy in on guitar named Nicky Khan, and we had Nicky Khan in the band, and Nicky Khan was quite the character. And so there for about 6 or 7 months, we had Nicky Khan as our new lead guitar player, and we were probably the most glammy we ever were at that point right there for that little stretch. And then finally he left, man, and we never did. Rick finally evolved into a good guitar player, man, and he we just didn't need another guitar player anymore
Yeah.
from that point on.
For people that know, you're talking about Rick Perry, who later went on to Gamma Side, another popular band from the Texas area. But as the
Absolutely.
years start rolling on, I mean, it's like 84, 85 now. When do you guys decide to go into the studio and start recording? Do you feel you have enough material at that time? Because you did put 2 demos out, kind of back to back.
Yeah, but there's 2 of the songs from the first demo are on the second demo, so they're re-recorded, hopefully better versions. And then there's the 2 other songs, and like I said, that first recording just happened to be in that time where Nicky was in the band, and so one of those songs on that record is on that demo is his song. Man, I've probably talked more to you right now about Nicky Khan than I have anybody in a long time. But yeah, he's just like a flash in the pan there. And like I said, man, I was in shock, man. My brother quit, man. Like, damn, man. Next thing you know, Nicky Khan's a guitar. But God damn, how did this happen, man?
Yeah.
And so he had a song on the first demo, man, called "She Knows How to Rock," and we never have released it. So there's that. And then "Name Your Poison's" on there. And
Yeah.
we're fixed to release "Name Your Poison."
Do you think the band was like maybe going in too many different directions musically, with the sound?
No, I mean, it's just it's. No, I mean, we wanted to be the heaviest metal up until Nicky Khan joined the band, really, because we still played all the heaviest metal, even though our songs, our songs came from a couple of those songs came from that era, and that was it. It's just, but we also, I opened the very first metal club in the Plex while he was in the band, and so. You know what, man? I opened the first heavy metal club called Rascals in May of 1985, and man, you know what? We played every weekend until like September or something. maybe August. We might have finally skipped a weekend.
Yeah.
But we played every weekend, and finally became pretty good. And became a good band, But nobody would ever consider using that method today. Playing every weekend. That usually. When I told Jeremy, that we used to play every weekend at Rascals, he's like, "Man, isn't that a little oversaturated?" It's like, hey, you would have thought so, but it was just people from the far side of Fort Worth, the far side of Dallas, didn't have any place to go, so they just converged on Rascals, man, and saying.
If there's a demand for it, people are going to show up. If people didn't want to see you guys, they wouldn't have come. Obviously, they wanted to see what you guys were doing and hear you guys. So it kept it going for a long time and a lot of years. But now you got the two demos out in '85 and '86, but you never released them. You never got them out there. What was the thought process behind that? Not letting other people hear the music or trying to spread the word through tape trading or shipping it off to labels and stuff like that.
And when I think on it, man, and try to make sense of it, we released our second demo, which we were pretty proud of. I mean, it was April of '86, and it was well before Rigor Mortis' demo. And, we were right there, man. I mean, Rigor Mortis themselves, Warlock's the only local band that Rigor Mortis ever opened for. I took them to the Tombstone Factory, and then I took them to the Circle A Ranch, and they were off, man. But we were right there with Rigor Mortis and Pantera, and I don't know, man. There, toward the end of '86, I just don't. For some reason, we just didn't feel. I don't think we ever realized what we had. I really don't. I think we just underestimated what we had and let it go.
That's a shame,
crazy,
too.
Man.
Yeah, because there was some great stuff that really I think would have took the band a lot further back then. But, you look back on it now, it's easy to say what you should have did. But at the time, you just did, you thought you did what you were doing was the right thing to do.
Yeah, and I obviously wish we would have stayed together and shot our music out to the world and hopefully, picked up label and got the tour and everything. So I think we really, we're right there. And I, looking back on it, I don't have a real good, reason other than to say I just don't think we kind of looked at ourselves and thought we didn't underestimate what we had and let it go.
Yeah, that's a shame. And both demos, one of them worked on with Jerry Abbott, the Pantera's father, the brothers.
Right on, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been buddies with them, man, since the early '80s, man. '82, I became friends with them, and it was only natural to go in there and let him record the stuff, and I probably would have been the guy that voted for us to record the second one there, but I was okay with getting away to another place too, because he really. I don't think he really ever understood extreme metal, heavier stuff, anything that's thrash or, anything, beyond just hard rock type of thing,
Yeah.
Yeah, he was, so we went ahead and ventured on out, the second time went somewhere else. But yeah, man, I love Mr. Rabbit, man, and he recently passed too, and
Yeah.
and that sucked, man. I'll it's funny, man, Mike, I'll tell you, man, I'll just say something about Mr. Rabbit right quick. I had so many great experiences with him, man. Oh, Lord have mercy. I used to do this outdoor concert series called Heavy Meadows. That was before they would let us in a club. So in '82 and '83, we had Heavy Meadows, and Pantera played several of them. Well, Mr. Abbott, he used to run live sound, too. See, he was a live sound man. And, man, a couple of times I was hosting these shows on a field that I didn't even have the permission to be there or anything. I just showed up and threw down, man. And like a couple of times the cops ran up on him real strong because he was standing behind the board and the only adult out there. Asking me what the hell was going on, and I was over there hiding in the cars, and then they would leave, and I'd come over there and be like, "Hey, man, where were you? Did you see all those cops?" No, man, I didn't see them, man. I had to go over here to Wendy's, use the restroom, man. Dang, man, there's cops over here, huh? My son of a gun, man, dang. Everything all right? Yeah, well, you got your permit to be out here, don't you? Yes, sir.
Yeah. Those were different times back then.
I always called him Mr. Abbott till the end, though. He told me a couple times in life, he goes, "Jerry, you're growing up now, man. You can call me Jerry."
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, Mr. Abbott, I've been calling you Mr. Abbott all my life." So, Yeah, that's what I did, man. When I
Yeah.
was fortunate enough to see him.
Well,
Heck yeah.
now the two demos are out there. A lot of people are hearing them. Where you live, probably distribute to your friends and family members and stuff like that. But the band kind of breaks up not long after the last demo tape is recorded. So, was it just you guys saying, "Hey, you know what? We didn't put this out there. Nothing's happening. We're not gaining any traction. We're going to call it a day." Or was it just like four guys fighting with each other at the time? I guess it was fighting.
Oh man, you got that. No, really, 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 there wasn't. You know, Les had quit for one thing. Les had quit, and we had a new drummer, this younger guy named Jim Norris. Oh, Jim, man. Hey, Jim, if you're out there listening, man, hallelujah, man. And yeah, and so he had been in the band. So I don't know how long he was in the band. It couldn't have been very long because we recorded the last demo in April, and Les was in the band. And Les quit again. It's like the third time he quit too. So he quit, and so that left me and Eric and Rick, and I just, like I said, Rick and I talked a couple times, and we just didn't seem to be on the same page, and we just didn't think what we were doing was all that special, and so we hung it on up there, But like I said, Les had left too. Now that I think about it, it's hard to remember all those things. But
It's
yeah,
a long
Jim
time
Norris
ago.
was a guy named Jim Norris. Yeah, Jim Norris was in our band there for a little while at the end. He was a cool kid, and when we did the first reunion back there in 2014, well, we actually started getting together in 2011, but finally did the show in 2014. And we contacted him, man. He's out there in California, and he just couldn't come in to do it. But we would have done the reunion with him, man. He's an all right guy. But yeah, I can't tell you really why, man. I wish I had a definitive answer for you, but I just don't. I just don't. I went on doing my thing. Rick went on doing his thing, and we've both been involved in music, in some form or fashion ever since. Both of us.
Well, after it did end, I mean, it was Warden the next thing you did? Your self-titled band?
Pretty much, yeah. I also started hosting the metal show at the KNON over here, man. I was a DJ for a long time, Mike. Hell yeah, I did some DJing.
All right.
You ever heard of KNON?
KNON, yeah.
You ever heard of KNON?
I sure did a long time ago.
I did the metal show there, man, from '86 to '89, and then I moved in this crazy place in '86 called the Tombstone Factory, and I lived there till 1989, and so I kept right on doing my damn thing. Musically though, my band ended up changing the name to Crime Scene after the Warden thing. So I actually have a whole demo, man, of Crime Scene that I've never released, and when it was on DAT, I was worried for the longest time that I couldn't get it off the DAT, but this cool studio here in Dallas finally got it off the DAT. So I actually do have a demo of Crime Scene too. I put out a demo of Warden. It's not metal at all. It is definitely rock. So it might even be it's just rock music. But yeah, Crime Scene, man. I might bust out a song or two of that one of these days.
That'd be great. And is it similar to like what Warlock was? Because maybe you could just turn them into Warlock tunes today.
Yeah, I listened to it here recently and trying to see if it would fit in with anything, or if maybe I could release it as a new Warlock song. And I'm still up in the air, but there might be one or two on there. But I've got a lot of other stuff too, man. And I didn't speak to Jeremy before I came on here today, but I guess I can say it on your radio station, man. I mean, he's going to release the Warlock CD.
That's going to be great.
And that's like cool as hell right there, and that's a hell of a damn good start right there for me, man.
Absolutely.
I'm happy So I want to thank you so much, man, for introducing me to Jeremy. And I actually do kind of like old Jeremy, man. He's kind of cool, man.
Jeremy's a good guy, and whatever he does, he does it top notch. And I'm sure when that record comes out, it's going to be a great release. You know, from artwork to production to the booklets, he does an all-out job on everything he releases. So you're in good hands with him. I
Yes,
would just
sir.
sit back and relax, and wait for it to come out. It's going to be a great one. But Jerry, talking about like when you put the band back together again around 2011, 12, and you had your show in 14. What happened at that time? Was it just meant to be like that one-off thing, or were you trying to keep it going and keep it together back then, and it just didn't work out the second time?
Yeah, yeah, it didn't work out, man. I just, hey, I don't, man. It's so hard to talk about, but yeah, I mean, I guess, well, really, just Rick quit. So I mean, there's nothing else I can say other than Rick quit. One day he decided he got mad at me. The next day he decided to quit, and
Yeah.
he told me, now, if you want to talk about it, he went on Can Win too. We went on Thrashing Allen show down there, man. I don't know if you know Thrashing or not.
No.
And he told people, man, hey man, I'm gone for full circle in life, and now I'm back at Warlock where I began, and that's kind of type of music I want to do. The new wave of British heavy metal type of music, and blah 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 blah. And so I did think that we were gonna continue jamming for a while, and he decided to quit, man. So I sit around once again stunned for a couple of years, going, damn, man. And finally, I start hunting for guys, man, that want to play these songs and jam with me, man. And that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, you put a whole new band together, in the last year or two, and I know COVID was here, so that kind of put everybody. That again, you're in Texas, so COVID didn't exist in Texas. It was like Florida. Everybody else had to deal with it, but you guys were able to do anything you wanted to do down there. Well, not like here in New York, where we were locked up, but you have this going on now. You sent me that great CD, and thank you very much for the CD and the flyers. I mean, the classic. But you got this whole new lineup together right now. All the songs are going to be reissued, actually released for the first time, I guess, officially when you think about it, and that's all good stuff.
They are, man. I'm really so glad, and I talked to several people over the last few years about releasing the Warlock Texas music, and they always wanted to argue with me about this, or they didn't want the CD to be like this, or they think I should put that one song on there, She Knows How to Rock, that Nikki Khan wrote, that I don't want to put on anything. And they those small arguments like that, and then when it come to Jeremy, I sent him the same CD that I sent you, and he told me, man, this is great. I want to release this just like this. And man, that's exactly the way I wanted it. The second demo with Name Your Poison, kind of like as a bonus track at the end, added on there. So heck yeah, that's what got that's what made me so happy with Jeremy, man. I sent you the same CD you did, and I sent it to you, and he dug the CD, man. So that was perfect for me, man.
I'm glad, man. I'm glad everything's happening. What do you got coming up? No, I know you got a show coming up at the Whiskey, right? What is it, this summer?
Absolutely, man. Here in about 3 months, we're gonna get to go. I get to go play it at the Whiskey in L.A., man, for the first time.
That's a big gig. Yeah, that's a real famous place.
Hell yeah, bro! I'm excited, man. We'll end up playing a couple places on the way home too. Probably Tucson and El Paso or something like that. Play a couple times. And I'm really looking to get out too, man. I want to play some festivals and stuff. I think there's some people that'll hire us on some festivals, and try to give me an agent, man, and book the band a little bit. I know, a few agents because my day job is booking bands too. I don't know if you know, but I book bands. That's my day job.
Well, then you could book yourself, right?
Well, now, I could, man. Dang it. I'm getting old, man. I could book myself locally, of course.
Yeah. You're looking for somebody to take you guys out on the road. I get that.
I'd like to go out and play, 2 weeks here, 30 days there or something. You know, I would, man. I'm not too old yet. I'm not senile or anything. Yeah, man. My mind still works pretty good. I'd like to get out and go a little bit, but you know, contacting all the different cities and stringing it together, man, it's always a pain in the butt, man.
Yeah.
You know, if you can have an agent, of course, man, you'd like to have an agent. Now, if no agent wants to deal with you, then you know you might have to get on out there and string them together. But like I said, I do.
It's hard today to get. It's hard today to make things happen. It's not easy anymore. But you know what? When the record is released and and more people come into the band and the old timers that remember you guys from back in the '80s, I think things will happen a lot quicker and a lot easier than after the record is out. And you have all these great European festivals that look for bands like from back in the day that are back together again. So I think you got a lot coming up for you. In the future after this album is out.
I do too, man. And I think Jeremy also said he was going to try to work hard to get the CD out by the time we do go to LA. So he hopes to have it out by then, and we're working on the damn thing. Lyric sheets and all those types of things, and the old pictures and stuff. I've got to dig out of everywhere. But yeah, we're in step 2, step 3, and step 4. He never has announced anything, and he talked to me about it the other day on the phone, and I didn't even know when I come on your radio show today, man, if I was supposed to say anything. But yeah. I think it'll probably be okay, man. He probably won't get. He'll probably be all right. He's just waiting for a different particular time. I'm not exactly sure what his thought process is, but. Heck yeah, man! I'm very excited about it, Mike, and I'm gonna send that booger around to a few of these agents and maybe some people, man. You never know, man. You can't do all. You never know who will show up out there in Los Angeles too. I'm not. There might end up being a couple of old Pantera friends show up.
You never know what's gonna happen out there. So I mean, don't worry about anybody hearing about the record release. Nobody listens to the show anyway, so you're okay.
Oh, no, I don't think so, man. You the big cheese, bro.
Hey,
the big cheese.
Hey, that's what they say, right? Well, listen, Jerry, I'm going to let you go in about 2 minutes because I got another guest lined up and I want to play some more music, off the tape you sent me. And, we'll do this again when the record comes out to give it a double promotion shot over there. But I can't tell you, I'm such a big fan of the band and I'm so happy that there's going to be official release of this music because it deserves to be heard by everybody who wasn't around back then and for the people that were, man. So I'm real happy for you, buddy.
Thank you so much, man. Very much. Thank you so much, sir. You've had so many cool people, man. I did a little bit of my homework. I seen Kennedy was on here, man, from the Rods on your show, and I got to see the Rods when they came with Judas Priest, and so I've seen all the guests you've had, and I'm very honored to have been on your show, Mike. And if we get to do it again when the CD comes out, it'll be cool as hell, man.
Absolutely. It's been my pleasure, Jerry. I'm going to play under the line next, so you take care, my friend. Have a great one.
Thank you, sir.
Take care. Jerry Warden from Warlock. I'm not going to say Texas Warlock, even though you have to because it gets confused with the other Warlock, but Texas Warlock, end of the line.
For you, you get to feel, be feel. When you find what I'll do, you reach the end of the line. You'll get no more of my time. Yeah, you reach the end of the line. You reach the end.
End of the line, Texas Warlock. That is some killer stuff. I can't wait for that to come out, and I know it's gonna be a great package. And Boss Tweet also. I don't want to say anything. Let Jeremy do his releases when when he's ready to announce them. But after 16 years of trying to get a band back together, I finally made it happen. Boss Tweet is going to reunite. I'm going to wait for them to make their announcement. I'm just saying it to my listeners right now, but it's definitely going to happen. So I'm thrilled that I came really close with Sneak Attack. It didn't work out, but I got it to happen with Boss Tweet. I want to thank the guys for sending me out a copy of the last album that was released on Shadow Kingdom Record. And I want to thank the band for sending me out a nice sympathy card for my mother. I appreciate that very much. All right, we're going to do a couple of more tunes before we get to Mike Tirelli from Holy Mother. You know what? Let's get the Christian one of the here. Matthias Steele. We had the guys on the show, I think, last year. They were fun to talk to. I know they're working on new material. Hopefully we'll get that this year. Probably going to be next year. But let's do a song off that first classic record. Here you go, Matthias Steele. right, Holocaust by Rat Attack. Love those guys. Had them on the show many, many years ago. They were fun to talk to. And before that, Matthias Steele with Live Again. Killer band. Waiting for new material from those guys. All right, we're going to get to an interview with Mike Tirelli in about 2 minutes. Next week, there's no live show next week, but it is a brand new show. We have Bo Brent, the singer from Ferret, on next week, as well as Peter Powers from Annika. They have a brand new record out. So don't forget to tune in. It's Memorial Day weekend, and it's also my granddaughter's dance recital. So, hey, family comes first, especially when it's my granddaughter. So there will be a new show just pre-recorded, and we're back live on air the week after that. We're pretty much live the rest of the year, unless something else pops up. That should be about it. All right, Holy Mother have a brand new record out called Rise. Their first one in about 3 or 4 years. I got to tell you, Mike sounds phenomenal live. He just keeps getting better and better with age, this guy. So let's play something off the new record. Let me see. I don't know what to do. Let me pick one out of here. Let's do Fire, and then we'll get to the interview right after this. So here you go, Holy Mother.
Oh
Mike. This is Mike. How are you?
Hey, Mike. This is Mike. Mike Tirelli. How are you?
It's easy not to forget each other's names today.
I know. It's funny, right? Capicola is your last name?
Catracola, a nice Jewish boy from Brooklyn.
I was going to say, it's a nice Irish name. What do you mean?
That's right, Irish.
What's
Listen,
going on?
Mike,
How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm such a big fan of yours, going way back into the beginning of Holy Mother, and I was so disappointed we had all those years with no music, but you really put up the last 2 years with Face the Burn and Now Rise. I mean, what a great job you guys did.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. I'm really into this album, man. I really put my heart and soul into it, and fucking just wanted to, do well. The thing is, when you lay off all those years, the momentum, you lose momentum. So we did what we did, and now things, people are really digging this album. Really
Absolutely.
happy. People are really.
I've seen and heard nothing but good things about it, and well deserved because it is a great record. I mean, you kind of talk about the long layoff. The band really never officially kind of broke up. It was just like maybe taking some time off, but it really became an extended time off for you guys.
Yeah, pretty much an extended time. And then I was involved in a lot of different projects and stuff. And then Randy Colvin, the original bass player who played on every album except for these last two.
Yeah, he passed away.
Yeah. And then Jim, actually, I recorded Agoraphobia in 2002 by myself. Jim quit the business. He's funny. He's a good friend of mine, but he can't stand the business, and I don't blame him. But I just keep going. So I put out that record, and then I said, you know what? I'll take a little break. I did that. Did the Messiah's Kiss thing, 3 or 4 albums with them, and they're active still. And, I'm also in a 8-piece wedding band. Do that, So in between, I did so much. I was in a show in Vegas. I do a tribute thing once in a while, a Dio thing, once in a blue moon, not much. The tribute things are great, but it's taken away from the originality of musicians today being, creative and all that, But, hey, what are you going to do,
It's the business. And, I think when you talk to a lot of bands over the years like I do, you always hear the same thing. It wasn't like infighting with the members of the band or things like that or just things that happen. It seems obviously the business part of the music business that breaks up bands more than anything else.
Yeah, no doubt. You know why? Especially today, it's very expensive to tour, tour buses, stuff like that are way out of hand. And it just gets really hard on everyone, Sometimes we'll have things booked. One guy would be like, well, I don't know. Like Jim was always like that. And, Jim has been the original member, but he wasn't really into doing too much touring and stuff like that. With me, I want to tour all the time because I want to support the record. And it's the only way you can get anywhere today. So I have the new guitar player in the band, Mickey Licks. He's just turned 20. He's great, and he wants to play, And Jim just retired after the big Doro tour in March, which was amazing. And now I got a 17-year-old drummer in the band, which he's a phenom, this kid is. It's funny. Steve McQueen, his name is. He's
Steve McQueen, I love it. He probably doesn't know who the real Steve McQueen is, but
no, but he's obviously his father, Nick.
Yeah.
He supports him, and it's great, yeah. He doesn't know who he is. That's so old,
Yeah. Do you find that it's better this way? Because when you have younger guys playing with you, they are more aggressive. They're more willing to go out there. They don't have a whole life plan ahead of them right now with families and other stuff like that where it kind of holds you back. So, the Rise Record basically is a whole new band outside of you.
Yeah. I got to keep it together, man. Like Coverdale.
That's right.
Yeah. No, it definitely. Mickey's great. They love him. He should have been born in the 80s, the guy. I don't know if you saw any pictures. He wears, tons of makeup. His hair's down to his ass,
Oh, yeah. He's living the lifestyle.
He is. He really is. And he's really good, too. He's a great player. He's still learning, and he's great. Really is. But, yeah, the younger guys, come on. They make, get me rolling, and I have a ton of energy. So, but it's great to have the young guys in there. They're eager to tour. They're eager to go to Europe. They're excited about, the festival that we're doing in France and the show in France. they're excited about the Doro tour in December, and we're actually playing at Sony Hall next
Yeah, I saw
Saturday.
that. That's going to be great.
Yeah, we're playing. So we're doing that, and once the album's out, we'll get more opportunities to play better places and be the headliner. So like I said, laying off didn't help the band, as you know.
Yeah, obviously. But when you think about it, Holy Mother came around 94, 95. That was a tough time for heavy metal to begin with. I mean, most of it was falling apart then, and you guys come out like, hey, let's give this a shot. And I felt like you were fighting against the tide the whole time, but you just kept producing one great album after another. I mean, especially through the 90s into the 2000s.
Yeah, it was tough, because that was the hair band era after the 80s, and then, what happened with grunge and stuff like that. It was hard to get any kind of record deal here in the States. So we went over to Europe, and we had a small label with this guy, Axel Tupperville. And, he did what he could do, but he didn't really have enough money to really promote this. And everyone really loved the Toxic Rain album and Criminal Afterlife. And then we should have went out and toured, but there was no budget. And and there was a couple of labels like Sanctuary wanted to buy the band out, and he didn't want to sell. And I'm like, just get rid of it. I don't think I got more money to promote us. And I want to play and play. But same story back then. Believe it or not, even here in the States, it was hard to play because, like you said, the way people perceived us as maybe a hair band, which we kind of really weren't. I mean, we were a little thrashy, So
Absolutely.
it was tough.
And you want to know the funny thing is that back then a lot of people thought you were a European band because that's where most of the focus was, because that's where it had to be.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we were on a German label. He used to fly us over there to record. We recorded the Toxic Rain album there in Criminal Afterlife. And we used to go there. All right, we're going to go. We'll go to Germany. But we didn't have that much time to record and mix everything in like 10 days. It was like, and they always left me with no time. All right, get in there. I'm like, what are you kidding me? You're killing me and you're kidding me because I got one fucking day to finish this. Oh, you can do it. I'm like, you guys are crazy, man. Get this shit done. Give me a couple of days, But anyway, it worked out. It's a lot of energy on those records, as you know. Fucking Toxic Rain's crazy.
Yeah.
And it worked out. And we had a great time going over that. But he actually flew us back after to record the Criminal Afterlife album. And at the time, we played Valken for the first time. And we played Valken and we recorded the Criminal Afterlife record at the same time. And ironically, actually Riot was there at the same time. Virgin Steel was there at the same time. Sabotage was there. Who else was there from a lot of New York bands? But it was crazy, but a great. I mean, Valken was big then. Now it's ridiculously big. It's a huge
Humongous
festival.
now. Yeah, it's probably one of the biggest ones out there.
Mm-hmm. We played this year though. We did Headbangers open air.
Yeah.
In Germany in August. And we played Valken, but we weren't on the main stage this year, we played anyway. It was good. But you know what? We're hoping maybe next year we will be on the main stage. I mean, we're talking to, a lot of the promoters and stuff like that. We got people talking to them. So you got to, you can't be, you got to be relevant, man. The next album, it's got to be ready to go.
True. Well, look, when you talk about the early days, I mean, Toxic Rain in 98, Chemical Afterlife in 99, My World War in 2000, and then Agrophobia 2 years after that. I mean, the output was just incredible. I mean, it was just like pouring out of you year after year. That was even better than in the 80s when bands put out a record every other year. You guys were like on it every year.
Yeah, we did. We were, and it was tough because we were, we're all like starting families, working jobs, and, it was tough on everyone. And me and Jim were the sole writers, and it was tough. It's funny, we used to fight all the time. Me and Jim was funny, but but we're still, like brothers. We're friends. We were in Jack Starr's Burning Star together back in the '80s, and so he just don't want to be in the business anymore. And I really, I don't blame him. So he's done.
It's a crazy business. You talk about Jack Starr. I had him on not long ago, and we were talking about those records that you won then. There's still some of his fondest records that he did back in the day, and they were 3 great records back then.
Yeah, yeah. The ones No Turning Back was really good. It was one of the that was my first real, I guess, international worldwide release. Jack introduced me to the European market, and all the other albums after that. It was good, It was a good time, definitely a good time. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, and you've always kept yourself busy. I mean, you went with Ride for a couple of years. I was always hoping that an album would have came out of that, like a studio record. I mean, but it was like 2 or 3 years you were out there playing with them, I think.
Yeah, exactly, 2 or 3 years. But then what happened was we were actually writing, and I recorded a couple of their old stuff, and I got sick. I had stomach cancer. I don't know
I
if you knew
remember,
that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so I had stomach cancer. Then Mark was sick, and Mark got an offer to do the Thundersteel album with Tony Moore. So we got that offer to do that. So they put something out. It was a good record. It actually was really good. Bobby Jazambak played drums on it. Um, it was a great album. So they put that out, and then Mark, as we know, passed.
yeah,
Um, and then they actually moved on with the Riot 5 thing. I wasn't really interested in doing that. I just wanted to do my own thing. I was like, but what they're doing now is brilliant. I got to say, what they're doing now is amazing. They got the perfect lineup. They're busy. Todd does an amazing job of exactly what they're want to do.
yeah.
He sounds exactly like Tony Moore, and probably better. And live, they kill it. They really do. So yeah, I did that for a while. It was enjoyable, and especially touring with the guys. I'm still really tight with Mike and Donnie and Frank Gilchrist. Frank played. Actually, Frank filled in at the Headbangers Open Air Festival. He played the set with us, and he played with Riot that day too. Yeah, I'm tight with those guys. So it was great experience, great guys, but nothing ever came out as far as the recordings.
Yeah, that's a shame. I was always hoping for that to happen. But like I said, life goes on and things move on. Like with Riot, they don't do a lot of touring right either. They do a lot of the festivals because Todd's got a full-time job and family, so they kind of work around his schedule. I mean, do you prefer to just go out and do the festivals? I know you got these tours coming up. But I know you said you like being busy, you like being out on the road. And is it important to keep booking as many tours as possible, to keep going out there and keep playing? Or is it better to hit like those festivals where you get in front of a 10, 15, 20,000 seat audience and kind of wow them like that?
Well, a lot of people think like that, which is a lot easier on your scheduling and stuff like that, and it's not as tiresome. But I prefer, at this point, to get as much as we can get. Like I said, really want to support this out. All the time and what I put into it, I really believe in it. And I prefer to tour as much as possible and play as many festivals as we can get. And I think that's going to happen as time goes on, hopefully sooner than later.
I mean, do you think it's like a necessary evil in this business where you have to keep putting out product because, people have short attention spans today, especially the younger generation? I mean, it's great that there are so many teenagers and 20-year-olds that are into the music that, we grew up with and all this stuff from back in the day. I love it that there's such a young audience in most of these shows. And I think but like, they don't have that attention span, a lot of them, especially when it comes to listening to new music. Like, if you don't draw them in like 10, 15, 20 seconds, they just move on where, we would play that album from start to finish, even if it was a band we didn't know, just to get into it. It's a different musical environment today. Do you find yourself having to adapt to please the way the crowds listen or the audience will listen to the music?
Definitely.
Yeah.
you hit the nail on the head. You know why? You got TikTok and there's 15-second videos and boom. But there's so much to offer on all these social media platforms. It's just the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And
Yeah.
yet everyone's getting as far as their attention span because there's so much to offer. The market's flooded. There's musicians that go out there that you really can't call them musicians. And the way technology is, the way you can manipulate everything, every instrument, vocals, and it makes it a lot easier to put things out. But it is what it is, and you got to do what you got to do. But I I have changed on some of the writing, trying to not, have songs that are take, a minute to get to a break or a mid-eight section or a
Yeah.
chorus. You know, try to get right into it because even guys our age, we're on social media, and I think it's affecting us as well. So I think for my benefit, it is. I mean, I see things I'm on, and I'm like, it's funny. I see myself going to the next thing, which is I've always been like that though.
Yeah.
ADD,
I'm like that too,
But
but I
yeah,
just think it's a dementia setting in as I get older.
mm-hmm. Remember, and the funniest thing, if you notice, all the songs on the album, every one of them is
Yep.
one title. You got Fire, you got The Elevator, you got Jeremiah, you got Power, Rise, Down, Interventionist, Hex, Live to Die is the only one because that was on Toxic Rain. We redid it again. And then you got Rain. So a lot of times I'll mix them up. It's funny. I'm talking just yesterday. We're supposed to be playing this, I think it was Fire, and I'm like talking about, I went back to listen to a part on the elevator. I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
Getting confused with the one word titles,
Now that you said that, I just realized that, yeah, there's only two songs in the whole record that have more than one word.
I know.
But
Yep.
that's great marketing. How can you forget it? Like you said, Fire, Jeremiah, Power, Rise, Down. You can't forget it that way.
No, it is cool. And that was Jim's idea, actually. Jim
Yeah.
had some, good ideas. I guess the elevator is the elevator.
That's true.
Has to be, too.
That's true.
Right.
But people won't forget it because it's just a good album of solid music. And when it came to writing this record, working with new guys now, how do you get across, like, what you want done and how you want it done? I mean, you think they might listen back to the past and say, like, this is what Holy Mother is all about, and this is where we're going. Because when I look at your albums, each one is Holy Mother, but they're sort of like a continuation of the one before. You didn't repeat yourself. You didn't change things drastically. You just moved forward with each new record. And I think you did the same with Rise. So how do you get three new guys on board or two new guys on board and say, hey, this is what we have to do?
That's good that you noticed that, and I appreciate that. How do I do it? I say learn the songs. Because I pretty much sit in my studio and write very often, even if it's just a riff or a groove. And then I go back and I think if it's worth finishing, So basically that's it. I play all the guitar parts. The last album, Greg is a brilliant guitar player. He's into very progressive, heavy stuff like that. So he wanted to just do his own thing after a while because I was playing everything, But on this new album, on Rise, I played everything in all the rhythm tracks, and I had Mickey pretty much do overdubs and play some of the rhythm tracks over what I was doing to enhance it. And obviously, he played all the solos. But basically, I create everything, and then Jim pretty much helps me arrange a lot of the songs because a lot of times I'll just put parts and I'm like, he'll hear it. And, it's always good to have an outsider, and he's good with that as well. And I'll sing a melody as far as on the album. I'll always sing something, no matter what I say and blah, blah, blah. He'll make a lyrical content out of it, whatever I'm saying, which is brilliant. So we always work good together. So you never know on the next record, you might want to maybe write lyrics or whatever. But that's basically it. I put together everything, even the drum grooves, and even if I gave them to Jim, he would go home and play them, play pretty much what I did and just play it the way he, feels it, and his own fills. But that's basically the writing formula,
Is songwriting something that comes natural to you or always came natural to you? Or is it something you really had to work on, like over your lifetime of being a musician?
Basically, I'm always thinking of songs, like all day. I got my phone on me. I'm always humming a melody or humming a riff or humming a drum groove. It comes pretty easy to me now because I do it all the time. When I don't write for a while, I feel like I'm out of the the groove of it, Once I start, oh boy, it just don't stop. When I'm sleeping, it's always going through my head constantly, and I'm like, I got to try to turn it off, It's once you start it, it's a vicious cycle. Put it
Yeah,
that way.
I can imagine. Hence the title agoraphobia for the the record before the last one.
Yeah, man, that was just all me.
Yeah.
Reading a lot of books on phobias and anxieties, and because I have my own, and I didn't know I wasn't agoraphobic, but I do have a friend that's agoraphobic. He's a guitar player. He's brilliant. He's great. I always wanted to use him for the band, but he can't do any gigs. Like I'm serious, like
The
15
anxiety, yeah.
miles away from his house. He's crazy. I'm like, you kidding me? I'm going to shoot you up with Xanax and throw you in the car and get you to the gig.
Oh
Yeah.
God,
So
it's crazy
yeah,
out there. Mike. Like you said, you're always writing. You always got stuff going on in your head. In the days before we had cell phones and electronic technology at our fingertips, did you ever come up with that one riff in your head, that one melody line, and said, you know what, I got to write that down later? Then you forgot it. You could just never get that one melody back or that one riff back.
happen all the time. I mean, going back to Toxic Rain, those days were different because we had Randy, who was one of the, a brilliant bass player, as you know, and then Jim, myself. We had Spike at the time. We had Rich Nazo and Toxic Rain. We'd go in the rehearsal room and everyone would play their parts, and then me and Jim would go home. We'd actually record it on a 4-track live, then go home and write all the melodies and lyrics, and then go to the studio and record it. But you're right. Even today, if I don't have my phone on me, I had so many brilliant things, and I never put it down. I totally forget it. It happens. It happens to everyone. It's crazy, right?
It really. You talk about Toxic Rain. To me, one of the best Judas Priest covers everywhere, anywhere. With You've Got Nothing Coming. Love that version of it. I mean, it's hard to do a cover, make it your own, but you did it with that song, and it's one of Priest's biggest songs too.
Yeah, yeah. We actually played it. When did we play it? We played it at the Headbangers Open Air, and then we did it at Vakken as well. But we always got it where we might sneak it in here and there, but we only have actually a short. We had 45 minutes on the Doro tour, so we didn't play at that time. But we always play. We always play Holy Diver. People really they love that when we do that. The Dio thing. So yeah, Dio's one of my favorite, and I was totally influenced by Dio, as you know. But yeah, the Judas Priest thing in Halford is one of my favorite as well. Thanks. It's we thought it came out pretty good. It's pretty heavy. It's a little heavier version, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love it. I mean, you talk about being a musician, like all the guys in the band, they all have, their own things they got to deal with. Guitar players, arthritis, drummers, the tension on playing the drums, but you have to use your voice every night that you play, every time you record, and that wears down a lot faster than I think any other body part that a musician can have to play with. But yet you don't sound any different than you did 30 years ago. What the hell is the secret, besides looking like you did 30 years ago?
Well, the look, I don't know about that.
Yeah, come on. You're all buffed up. Are you kidding me? I look at you, I'm like, God, man, what am I doing wrong here?
But thank you. You know what? The thing is with singing too, like you said, you really got to take care of yourself. When we did a tour with a band called Dynasty from Sweden.
Yeah.
In April 2022, it was 18 shows in a row, and I was a little nervous about it. I'm like, wow, 18 shows. But believe it or not, I don't know. I was blessed. I went by the 18th show. I felt like my voice was as good or better than the first show. I think the secret is really, it's just like rest. Not partying and lots of hydration. And talking is the worst. When you do the meet and greets, oh my God.
Yeah.
Trying to talk over the music. My voice is the hardest thing to do is talk. Even when I'm reading, I'll read something to my wife, and I'm like, oh, it's harder to read or rather sing to you, But take care of yourself physically, mental too. I mean, you gotta have that confidence, Like, all right, sometimes you doubt yourself, but basically just stay in, the best shape you can. Hydration. It's all a balance, of rest as well. So, but I've been blessed. I don't know, it's like if I don't sing in a while, I'm always doing exercise, like I do as vocal exercises just to keep it rolling, But there's nothing like singing rocking what we're doing. It's always belting.
Yeah.
That keeps your voice. I feel it helps me all the time. When I play with Entourage, my 8-piece wedding band or whatever, I'm using a different muscles as far as vocally. I'm not projecting like I do with Holy Mother. It's loud guitars, loud drums. So it's a lot more taxing, but I actually seem to feel better when I'm doing the rock and the metal stuff for some reason. I don't know, whatever. Guess it's in my blood. But I've been blessed, and that's the only thing I can say. Just take care of yourself the best you can. Balance.
And that kind of goes against everything that, heavy metal and hard rock stood for in the 70s and 80s, about sex, drugs, rock and roll, and partying, and people like, when you hear about like all those stories that went on back in the day, then you look at Vince Neil today, like, well, that's what happens when you don't take care of yourself, and you let yourself go,
exactly.
and you don't rest. You hear that. I'm not talking about, getting heavy. I mean, just the singing part of it. I mean, you hear that, you're like, that's what happens when you do too much partying back in the day, and you're in this for the long haul.
I was always so neurotic and about drinking, and I would drink. Don't get me wrong. I liked to drink, but even when I wasn't singing, if I was drinking, I hurt my voice. Is it drying out? It was always like, so I was always concerned and always conscious of what I was doing, but I never did drugs. I never smoked pot, never snorted cocaine. I never did all that shit. Hanging out with groupies and stuff. Yeah, that was great. That was fun. But those days are over.
Yeah, that's true. It's a whole different business today. I mean, when you think about it, back in the 80s and even into the 90s, you couldn't do this without a record label, without their support. You needed it. That's what you look for. That's what you strive for. That's what you wanted. Then over the last 20 years, it went back to kind of do it yourself. People were, the technology was there to have home studios, record everything in your house, exchange files and stuff like that. And like you were saying earlier, like, you go on TikTok and there's one-man bands and they have AI and they're recreating everything. I think that gluttony of making it so easy for people to record music sort of diluted, all the good bands and good musicians are out there trying to do something that was really good, because I get a lot of emails from bands, like the one-man bands that go into a studio, they record everything using computers and technology, and they just put product out, but they don't play live. They're not bands that go out there and tour. And it's, I think it kind of dilutes the real musicians that are out there trying to make something happen today.
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt. I mean, if you think back to the day when, you can relate to this, learning a song, I used to have to, like, if it was on vinyl, I kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I wore out the album, listening to it over and over. Lyric, I'd listen to the lyric. You couldn't even get the lyric somewhere unless it was in the album. And then just creating or even recording in the studio was a task. You're like, all right, sing that line over. Sing it over like 70 times. I don't know. I don't like it. This, that. Today, it's just like, all right, go in there, sing. All right, get the hell out of it. I'm going to fix it. I can quantize it and tune it up. But it's taken away, bands. I mean, it's not that we sound older, but, look back at the bands like ELO and Queen and Foreigner. And we can name so many of them, what they create. Boston. All those bands that in Kansas, going on and on. They just, that's all, real playing and creating and just brilliant stuff, and it's not perfect, but it's close. Yeah. That's why it sounds good. Everything is perfect. Everything you hear on the radio is perfect. When it first started with the, pop music has always been, different than what we're doing, obviously, but when I used to hear like the radio, pop music or whatever, top 40 stuff, when they started using autotune on everything, I mean, the whole vocal, I'd be like, well, it's weird to me. It's perfect. It's nobody sings perfect.
Yeah.
You have a soul. If you're going to autotune something, if there's a note that you think is flat and you're singing, that's okay, whatever. The guy's out of the singer went home. That's fine. You're producing, but what they're doing, even in metal, they're tuning the whole thing. They're straightening the path. It's getting stagnant, and people's ears are getting used to it. When it's not like that, sometimes they think something's wrong or whatever. I don't. It's just crazy.
That what you just said was exactly how I feel. I can never put the words to it. People's ears get used to it. That is so true. And like, listen, when I go to see a band live, I know I'm not going to hear it like I do on the record. It's almost impossible. But if you like the music, you're going to like what they do live. And being in a studio, being in an audience, seeing a band playing live, that's where it's all at. Mistakes, goof ups, screw ups, whatever happens, that's part of playing live. You're right. Nobody's perfect like they're on the studio. You don't have that technology on the stage. I mean, actually, you kind of do today when you think about it. But, I mean, you want to hear that. But how do you recreate some of the older stuff? I mean, because we all get older. Everything starts to change, the way we speak, the way we talk, our singing voice. You keep it pretty close to the original, which I think is quite amazing.
Yeah, it's tough. All the stuff on Toxic Rain, like Wars and stuff like that, that's a tough song to sing. It really is. I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking back then? Coming, I'm like, do I really got to do this? Yeah, it is hard. I remember we were going to do Wars, but we ended up not doing it. But Toxic Rain, I have no problem with. Live to Die, my voice definitely changed, no doubt about it. But it's gotten better, if that makes any sense. It's changed a lot of the mid, like the falsetto mid voice kind of thing. I use more of a real voice kind of thing, which Ronnie did. Ronnie Dio did that. He didn't do any of those falsetto scream shit. I mean, it's okay, but it was a little easier for me to do that when I was 20. It just was because my voice was higher, just my speaking voice.
What we did years ago, like Joe Elliott always says that. He goes, I regret, singing in the register I did back then, because he goes, I could barely do it back then. I knew that I would never be able to carry that on in the future. He sings at a whole different range today because, that's just life,
Yeah, that's true. One of my favorite singers is Ray Gillen. I'm sure you're familiar with Ray.
Amazing guy.
Yeah, he was one of my favorite. He was in a band called Rondinelli. That's Bobby and Bobby out here in Long Island, and it's funny that guy on all the Badlands stuff was singing stuff that was like so high, but he was a great singer. That guy, he was one of my favorite. Very soulful and all that. He was something else. Even when he filled in for Black Sabbath, he did an amazing job. He was on one of those records, actually.
Yeah, I think it was a Seventh Sign he was on.
Right, and then Tony Martin copied.
Yeah, Tony Martin redid the record, yeah.
He quit or whatever. But, yeah, I mean, that stuff is hard to do. But the only guy who can duplicate that really good is Dino Jalusic. That guy's insane. Are you familiar with Dino?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, Dino's great, actually. He's a friend of mine, but believe it or not, I've never met him. We talk, and he's busy as hell, man. He's doing his thing, and he's young. So he's carrying the torch, the kid. I'll tell you, he's killing it.
He's keeping it going. That's what we need. That's the most important part. Mike, I'm not going to keep you much longer. What a great record you guys came out with the Rise. I think June 7th is the official release date on Massacre. I mean, what do you guys? I know you got Sony Hall coming up this weekend. This show will be on this weekend, so your probably show will be over before that you hear this. But what's the next thing's coming up for anybody? I mean, in the New York area, anywhere else?
Right now, we don't have anything booked here in the New York area. We're working on some stuff. Actually, we got something tentatively in New Jersey at the Landis Theater, Holy Mother. It's like August. I think it's a Sunday, August 5th, I believe. August 4th. I'm sorry, I'm looking at it. Yeah. So that's what we got right now. Until that album comes out, we're going to get a lot more. Well, we know May 18th. May 18th is Sony Hall, right? If you want to go to that show, let me know. I'll put you on the guest list.
I would absolutely love to be there because a month after that, they start congestion price in New York. It'll cost me $15 extra to get there.
Oh, I know. I'll tell you, we don't have to get into the politics of things, but we know the way inflation right now, it's making it tough to do everything,
Yeah, it's just another slap in the working man here in New York City.
Mm-hmm. What part of Brooklyn you in?
Well, now these days I'm in Staten Island for the last 35 years, but originally Bensonhurst, if you can't tell by the greaseball accent.
Of course. You're Richie Castellano's.
That's
Richie Castellano was the host?
Yep.
Yeah. I did his show, the Band Geek show.
Yeah.
It was great. He's sensational, that guy. Really good guy, too.
We got to try to keep it Italian. You know what I'm saying, Mike?
Yeah, no doubt. All right. Well, let me know if you want to go to that show.
I,
I'll get you a guest right on the list, and we can whatever
I
make a show.
absolutely will, and I appreciate that, Mike. And what a great job on Rise, man. I can't wait for everybody to hear it when it comes out if they haven't heard the singles that have been released so far. I can't wait to see you guys next weekend.
Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Take
See you
care, my
later,
friend.
Mike.
Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. to thank Mike Tirelli and Jerry Warden for being on tonight's show. No live show next week, but a brand new one. Don't forget to tune in. Peter Palace of Annika, Bo Brent from Ferret will both be on the show next week. Pre-recorded interviews. We're going to wrap it up here tonight with one more song. Malcolm Lovegrove, otherwise known as Malcolm Mania. I just heard that he passed away. He was a singer for Black Lace. I think the original singer who was on the first record, Fire From Within. So let's get on a Black Lace tune to pay tribute to him. Take care, everybody. Have a great week. I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Stay out burning hell. 6-string machine gun handles business well. Hey!